High school football, week number 4, and we take a closer look at another matchup as the Millbrook Pioneers travel to face Skyline. In a game last week, Millbrook unfortunately fell to Brentsville, as mentioned earlier. On the call for that matchup down at Skyline High School this Friday is my good friend Dan Gloster with Winchester's Classic Country 95.7. And I will say, Dan, a lot of penalties in that last game for Millbrook against Brentsville, but this seems like a perfect opportunity to get back to Millbrook football with their potent running attack in Kyler Jackson and numerous other names, to say the least, and potentially get a victory Friday night.
I would agree, Josh. James Wood coming into the game against Skyline last week, they were averaging about 250 yards total per game in their first two games, win over Warren County and a win over Brentsville last week. 512 yards of offense against the Hawks. So that bodes well, and I think about 300 of that was on the ground. So that does bode well for Millbrook. But in doing the Millbrook-Warren County game 2 weeks ago, actually, I think 3 weeks ago, maybe it was just 2 weeks ago, the penalties were an issue. They had 10 for about 110 yards against Warren County in a blowout, and my broadcast partner Tim Mondell and I did definitely notice that, and it got worse last week when, according to our pal Mark Sawyer from the Winchester Star, they had approximately 15 penalties against the Brentsville Tigers. So again, against a not great team, you can overcome that. But against actually Brentsville's just, I would say, they're not near as good as they were last year. They were kind of middle of the road, and it came back to bite Millbrook. So definitely a good opportunity to get back on the right track with a win. But I'm sure when the coaches look deeper, they want to cut down on those penalties big time.
And sort of, what is your scout, since you were at Skyline last week? What do you think they might need to do defensively to try to stop that potent running attack in Millbrook's offense?
They just gotta shore up front, be a little bit better, more penetration. Don't follow the ball, as they always say, to try and slow down the single wing. Just read your blocks and just be sound. It's obvious, but you got to tackle well in the first contact. You got to limit their first downs for sure. Put them in, second and long, third and long. Get them out of their element a little bit. But if they're getting 5, 6, 7 yards a pop on first, second down, it could be a long night for Skyline.
And just looking at Millbrook on the defensive side of the football, what do you think the key is there to try to limit the amount of points Skyline gets on Friday?
I'd say pretty much the same thing. Skyline's got decent size up front, so, they're going to have to do a good job again getting off blocks, limiting Deshaun Haley, Zayden Burks, and then get some pressure on the quarterback, Ballard, for Skyline, because they did some good things on one of their touchdowns last week. It was a bad snap to Ballard in the shotgun, but he calmly went back to get it and then hit Burks, and he went 46 yards for a touchdown. So again, limit those explosive plays for Skyline is one of the things Millbrook definitely needs to do.
Once again, the Millbrook Pioneers traveling down to Skyline. Dan Gloster, Winchester's Classic Country 95.7 on the call of that matchup. And as always, greatly appreciate the time of Dan Gloster. Dan, my friend, have a great call. Thank you so much.
All right, buddy. Take care.